So I have only ever given one wedding speech before, so John has promised that if I do a very good job again, I can do it at his next wedding. But it's also the point I meant to. It's also at that point I meant to compliment the bride. So just absolutely go for it. But I'm also meant to compliment the bridesmaids. So Joan said, "Good job." Now, as Julie Andrews told me throughout my childhood, yep, the signs are there from an early age. Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. So, it was during my second year at that fine institution they call Leeds University. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you even may have met some of its dysfunctional alumni. But a bonny Scottish lass called Nessie told me that she'd like to arrange a meeting between myself and a young keen fresher who had just been appointed president of Liddon Hall. As president of Devonshire, the elite hall for most outstanding students, Nessie, please cheer. I agreed to the meeting, and that's when I met this tall, this dark, and Scouse gentleman called John. Greeted with a, "All right, mate." This was to be the start of a very great friendship. But it was during my university years, John and I shared a friendship of mutual gain, mainly inviting each other to our annual university balls, learning how to drink vast quantities of wine, and getting down and sweaty on the dance floor at 40 Fridays. But post-university, John and I kept in contact, even while I was on my travels rafting in Glam. I kept a fun and light-hearted journal about my new experiences. John, in his ever-tactile way, said on my return, "Yeah, I got the journal updates, but I gave up, because you do go on a bit." I do promise I'll keep this short. But by the end of 2006, Seb, John's housemate at the time, decided that living with a girl would be far more appealing than living with John. So we moved in together with Karina to the leafy Nappy Valley suburb of Clapham. On our first night living together, John said that he would cook, so I agreed to go out and get the wine. I pushed out the boat on a couple of posh bottles of Sauvignon Blanc. Excited by the prospect of dinner, you can imagine my major disappointment when I got home and it was served up was 2 fried eggs and cheesy chips. But luckily for John, he redeemed himself with many a delicious meal since then. But living with John was a rewarding and fun experience. There's never been a dull moment in 13B. Regular Thursday nights were always fueled by wine, crisps and guacamole. Weekends would inevitably start with the X Factor and end with cherry-aid vodka-induced chair dancing. Unfortunately, that's a feat that Dan is still yet to master. But it is quite amazing that John ever did find the love of his life. When you take into consideration his drunk eyes, his dance moves that involve playing a trombone, the way that he likes to make up rules to board games so he can... turning over the TV mid-programme because he finds it boring. His favourite film, which is High School Musical. His love of discussing politics at any point, and his crush for the booty-shaking Beyonce. But he still did manage to find himself a boy, even if he was from the wrong side of the Thames. But I can imagine dating John can be compared to that of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Caught up in a whirlwind and landing in a world so that wherever you go from Australia to Balham, there is always someone from Leeds University. Dan being the macho man of cars and football, he was suddenly forced upon the world of musicals, and before long he knew all the words to Hairspray, Wicked, Lemons, But unlike the Tin Man, the Lion and the Scarecrow, as a couple, you have shown that you have the brains to provide love, support and guidance to each other. You've given each other much courage during the most darkest of times, but most importantly, you have found and captured each other's hearts. I don't know two people more right for each other, and Mark and I look forward to being part of the next chapter of your lives. On behalf of everyone here, thank you for allowing us to spend this special day with you, and we wish you a very healthy, long and happy life together. Can I please ask everyone to stand? And can you please raise your glasses to the couple that we more commonly known as Joan?